who you are from the sky. You're an angel. I'm like, okay, calm down.
Okay, well, welcome everyone. We are live with Gary Yourofsky. You're of the sky. Oh my gosh. First of all, Gary, thanks for doing this. Thanks for being here. I feel very honored and blessed. And my audience really knows, no need for an introduction. I have a lot of questions, but I just want to clarify. You have been vegan for 29 years, correct?
I've been vegan since back in the day when they used to say vegan.
Oh my God. Yeah. A vegan. Right. Or I heard another one. What's the other one? Vegan.
Vegan. It's also
Vegan.
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 Yeah, vegan.
Vegan.
Yeah.
What is that about? I'm kind of confused.
I think people just do that to mock us and they're trying to get under our skin, to be honest with you. It's
Okay.
not a hard word. It's 5 letters.
I never understood that one. And now, before we get started, could you please tell us about Sasha Farm and how we can help?
Sasha Farm is an animal sanctuary in Manchester, Michigan. It's about 90 minutes from where I live. I've been going there since 96. It's a haven for around 200 rescued animals, cows and pigs, chickens and turkeys, goats and sheep. There's emus there. There's peacocks there. Once there was an ostrich named Hannibal. He was there. So Sasha takes in any rescued animal. It's a wonderful place, and this is important for the vegan community because animals at sanctuaries only have us to rely on. So it's important that we donate to animal sanctuaries, and they're struggling all over the world, not just Sasha Farm. So, of course, I would like people to donate to Sasha, but if there's one in your area, you feel more comfortable donating there, donate there, and donate your time. I've noticed that a lot of vegans over the years never ever befriend cows and pigs and chickens and turkeys, the animals they're fighting for, the animals they're living for. So if you haven't been to a sanctuary, please go there and meet these individuals. And I say that word for a reason. They are all individuals, just like the dogs and cats that we love and that we adore. The pigs and the cows and the chickens and the turkeys, the goats and the sheep are the same way. So get on down there, help out Sasha Farm. The problem with Sasha, by the way, is the former owner, Dorothy Davies, passed away around 2021. Her partner took over, but he wanted to retire and he's demanding that we pay him for the 50 acres of land that Sasha is residing on. So we entered into a 5-year land contract. We need to raise 675,000 to pay him off. I don't know why, by the way, if you're wondering, you're going to ask me why doesn't he give it to the next generation? I don't know, but I begged him several times, just give it away. If you created something so wonderful and you were old and retiring, I would think you would want to pass it on and make sure that it survives. He is refusing to do so, but the good news is we are all confident we're going to raise this money. Once we do, the animals at Sasha Farm will now be the owner of Sasha Farm. No human will ever own Sasha Farm again. And it should have never been that way. So we're looking forward to the day where we can say the cows and the pigs and the goats and the sheep and the chickens and the turkeys and the emus can own their own sanctuary. So please help out and go to sashafarm.org to make a donation.
Please, everyone. So I put it in the chat. I'll put it in the description down below and in the comments section down below. If you're in the chat right now, hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. The link is above. It's pinned above. So please donate whatever you can. Please, it's so important and it would be amazing. And I'm sure Gary will be documenting, when you are at the farm and it is owned by the animals. And then, guys, this is such a small little thing you can do, whatever you can donate to help out. So please do
Yeah,
that.
and please check out my Instagram account at Real Gary Yourofsky. I did several videos at Sasha Farm.
Yes.
Carmen was there too, my new wife, by the way.
Congratulations.
We got married last Friday. Carmen was there a couple months ago for the vegan chili cook-off, and she did a video. And if you go to YouTube and enter my name with Sasha Farm, I did 6 or 7 videos there around 10 years ago. You can see me hanging out with all the animals, and there's some really good watches in there. Check it out. You'll enjoy me hanging out with the animals and playing with them. And they were all done off the cuff. So nothing was written. I just said, pull out the camera. I'm going to go hang out with Big Red. Now I'm going to hang out with the pigs. Now I'm going to hang out with the chickens. It was all natural and it just flowed out.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen some of those. They're amazing. Always warm my heart. And yeah, I think it's so important what you said to meet an animal. It changes something in you when you meet a cow, especially if you're from a place where there aren't animals like that. I'm from New York City. I met a cow about 10 years ago. It was a massive creature. Whoa.
It's so amazing to be next to a 2,000 pound animal, a gentle soul, by the way.
Yeah.
And we have, see, especially with cows, people seem to think they're vicious animals because of the rodeo, because of the running of the bulls in Spain, or even the bull torturing fights. Uh, Cows are gentle beings. They make them crazy in all of these events. The rodeo, by the way, not a lot of people know about this. The only reason that the bulls and the horses buck in the rodeo is something called a flank strap. They tie a strap around their waist area. Next time it's on ESPN, just take a glance at the backside. They're kicking to try to get the damn strap off their waist that's tied extra tight. Sometimes these evil people actually put their testicles inside there too, and that's why they're kicking so furiously. And you'll notice when the idiotic cowboy finally gets thrown off after 8 seconds, the other guy on the horse comes by and he undoes the strap, and then the animal stops bucking magically. How about that? And for the bullfights, man, they just torture them beforehand. They actually put Vaseline in their eyes. They hit them with electric prods. They rile them up, and they make them appear to be crazy. These animals are not crazy. The only crazy animal on this planet is a two-legged one that walks around thinking like they own everything, including the animals on this planet. So humans, and I don't even like to say humans are animals these days. I think it's an insult to the animal kingdom. Technically, of course, I understand we are classified as animals, but uh, I'm embarrassed to be an animal because it's embarrassing for them.
I agree. Now, okay, I want to ask you, do you consider yourself an angry vegan?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking angry as hell all
I
the
thought
time.
so. Gary, I thought so. Now, I can't, I'm sure you have been told millions of times, stop being an angry vegan. Nobody's going to go vegan because you're angry. I've been told that so many times, and people trying to convince me that it is never going to. What do you say to people that say you should stop being an angry vegan?
I think it's from people who are ineffective activists who don't know how to do anything properly. It's amazing people say that to me when, and I'm not saying this to brag, but if people are going to throw and hurl accusations, I have converted hundreds of thousands to millions, they're now saying worldwide, and I'm the angriest of all vegans. And I called people two-legged devils. And I made Holocaust analogies and slavery analogies. And I used the word rape, which is what we do to the female animals. I was angry all the time, but I used that anger effectively. Anger drove me to do all those lectures, 2,660 lectures. It drove me to get on the streets and do 500 street demonstrations. It drove me to do all those civil disobedience acts, and that act of direct action, by the way, in 1997 when I liberated 1,542 mink. And when people say to me, oh, Gary, you should be calmer, or you should be, and it's not like I'm not calm. People have seen my speeches. You could be mildly angry and still be completely effective. It's not like I walked out on stage and said MF you and MF that and F you this. Okay, but use that anger effectively. But when the people come up to me and say, "Oh, Gary, do it like this or do it like that," my comment is, excuse me. So, how many people have you converted this way? Zero or zero? Like people
Mm.
sit around in a boardroom and think that they understand how to communicate with the masses. I don't know why people don't approach me all the time and say, Gary, how should we communicate with the masses? When I'm the one that confronted 60,000 meat, dairy, and egg eaters face to face during my lecture tour from 2002 to 2014. I'll tell you what works. Not being a politician works, which is what everybody wants to do. Oh, act this way, say something like this. No, no, no. And oh, Gary, don't say Holocaust, don't say slavery. Are you kidding me? That was the main part of my speech. In fact, when I went to Israel in 2012 and 13, I was told by a lot of people, be careful about the Holocaust analogies. I said, are you fucking kidding me? I'm coming up with new ones. I'm coming up with better Holocaust analogies. I want to confront people with their hypocrisy. So you have to call people out, hold people accountable. This is what truly works. And for the professors that always brought me into the classrooms, one thing was common amongst all of them. They all said to me, man, you really speak your mind. We have never seen anybody so open and willing to talk about what they believe in. Gary, you are certainly not a politician. So let me throw this out there for everybody. Stop acting like a politician, especially when everybody hates politicians. Have you noticed this? That everybody, oh, they're all liars, they're all thieves, you can't trust them.
They're all
And then as
fake.
soon as somebody gets some power, gets some influence, everybody all of a sudden wants to act like one. I never changed my style. From day one to now, I still speak my mind, even though the truth I speak gets me hated by a lot of people. But I'd rather be hated for who I am than be loved for who I'm not.
Ooh, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. And I also, I agree, Gary. I think we should have some anger in us because there are animals being raped, murdered, tortured by the millions daily. How could we not be angry? There's a burning building behind us and nobody cares. Like it's on fire.
It's this is the world's biggest Holocaust, the biggest massacre taking place. How could you not be angry? And how could you want to put on a front? And just because we quote people like Dr. Martin Luther King, Mohandas Gandhi, and we say, oh, they're pacifists. They were angry as hell. That's why Gandhi got arrested. That's why Dr. King went to jail. That's why Gandhi told the judge during his first arrest, if you believe in the unjust laws that you have passed, then I will accept nothing less than a complete and full sentence for what I violated. He wasn't even going to go to jail for the first one. He demanded to go to jail. That's angry. And by the way, that's emotional too. People, oh, Gary, you're so emotional. Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech, when he said, I have a dream, you want to talk about full-fledged emotion? Are you kidding me? I have a dream. The whole speech was emotion. And the reason why a lot of people tell us or tell some other activists not to be emotional, emotion works. It's the only thing that actually reaches people and touches their heart. If we're trying to win over people's hearts, you have to be emotional. You have to be dramatic. You have to be angry and let people know how serious this situation truly is. And it's the vegan misfit with Misfit Vegan. I wanted to tell you that. I came up with that before the before we signed on.
I love it. Gary, we are misfits in this world because we are trying to do something that is, against the grain. It's against the billions of people are still eating animals. I can't believe it. I'm sure you can't believe it. I mean, you've been vegan double the amount of time I've been vegan, 15 years. And okay, I wanted to thank you for that. You're amazing. Now, okay, I want to start this interview by asking you some questions geared towards people who are still eating dead animal body parts and their secretions. There are still people watching me. I don't know why they watch, but they're here and they're watching and they comment every day that they eat meat and they're eating double the meat for me and, extra meat. Okay, my first question to you is, can you please talk about the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual consequences of eating dead animal body parts and their birthing fluids?
If you're walking around with dismembered animals in your body, if you're paying somebody to rape a female animal to impregnate her, just so we can steal her babies, and just so we can kill those babies, keep in mind, meat, dairy, and egg eaters, you're not just animal killers, you're baby animal killers. What kind of a person who claims to be ethical, logical, and rational would kill a baby animal. Chickens are killed off at 6 weeks, pigs at 6 months, cows around 2 years. This is completely evil and vile, barbaric, caveman, cavewoman shit. It's Neanderthal mentality. Step into the current era, step into the 21st century and open up your hearts, open up your minds, be compassionate. This is completely selfish behavior, and I don't know why meat, dairy, and egg eaters want to act like 5-year-old brats when we tell them exactly what's going on. It's like we've taken away their Xbox and they're going to go have a tantrum in their room. Okay, we're not taking away your meat, your dairy, and your eggs because it was never yours to begin with. The flesh that is on your plate belonged to a cow, belonged to a chicken, a turkey. That was their body. What makes you think that you have the right to own somebody else's body and own their babies? I don't even understand. You mentioned all these years I've been vegan, 29 years. There are times I don't even understand why people are fighting. I'm asking people not to rape, not to murder an innocent being, somebody who's never harmed them, by the way. This might be the biggest travesty taking place. Cows, pigs, chickens, and turkeys are the ultimate victims, and we are the ultimate victimizers, and we demean them. We mock them. We claim they're inferior. How is the oppressed inferior to the oppressor? How is the murdered inferior to the murderer? I don't understand this 5-year-old brat mentality of I'm gonna go eat extra meat for you. What kind of a person would say that? If we were standing up against black slavery hundreds of years ago, would you have said I'm gonna go beat my slave extra for you because you don't have one? I'm gonna go rape the female slave extra good tonight because you think it's wrong? It's okay, by the way, to be ignorant. Honestly, that's why I did my lecture tour. I realized people are unaware, brainwashed, and programmed. I wanted to go out and tell them the things that I didn't know during most of my life. I wanted to share that with them. And I've noticed that the people that say these absurd things, like I'm going to eat more meat, or cows don't have feelings and chickens are stupid, they're the ones whose foundations are crumbled when they hear us. And
Mm.
instead of rebuilding those foundations and starting anew, they decide to walk on a crumbled foundation. And that's why you say stupid things and sound stupid and act evil. I don't know why it's so hard for people just to look in the mirror and say, I'm wrong. I didn't realize I had to do it. You had to do it. Every vegan I know had to look in the mirror that one day when we decided that was it and say, man, I can't believe I missed this. I can't believe I was taking part in this. I can't believe I called myself an animal lover my whole life, but I was eating dead animals and wearing their skin and thinking that their lives didn't matter or their lives belonged to me, to us. So look in the mirror, apologize, make amends, and move forward. It sucks that you can't change the past. I wish I could, but we can certainly change the future.
Mm.
And I don't know how, by the way, about the spirituality. I got news for every religious person out there. If you think you're going to heaven with a stomach full of carcasses and murdered beings, a stomach full of baby dead animals, I got news for you. You ain't going to heaven. And I don't care what religion you believe in and what God you worship. You are going straight to hell. It will be the first question asked by any God. What in the hell do you think you were doing to my babies? Because if you think God is a torturer, a killer, and a slave master to his animals, you ain't talking about God. You're talking about the devil.
Mm. Mm. Okay, while you brought up religion, thank you so much for that. People are worshiping the devil, they don't even know. But listen, in the Bible, it talks about God giving us domain over the animals, and Jesus ate fish and gave away fish and supported the killing of fish. What do you say to the people that say if we were not meant to eat meat, it would not be in the Bible?
Well, first of all, the Bible was not written by God or Jesus. It was written by human beings. And if you ask any religious person, the first thing they say is humans are sinners. I agree, by the way, wholeheartedly. But all of a sudden, the people that wrote the book and told other people how to live weren't sinners. Okay, they had agendas too. And if you look, by the way, in that standard book, which I can quote scriptures which say that you should not be killing animals, and that domain scripture having dominion, okay, it's the same dominion parents have over their children. You're supposed to protect and care for when you have dominion, not be cruel and violate. But the Garden of Eden was a vegan haven. God's first dietary law, Genesis 1:29, I give you seed-bearing plants for food. If you look at the human body, we are the ultimate herbivores. We're actually frugivores, which is why eating meat, dairy, and eggs cause the most amount of diseases on this planet. Am I supposed to believe God said, oh, eat cows and pigs and chickens, clog your arteries, have a heart attack, have a stroke, get cancer, and die, but be fruitful and multiply? It doesn't make any logical sense. And if you go to the end, Isaiah 11:7, the wolf will live with the lamb, the cow will feed with the bear, the lion will eat straw like the ox, a child will lead them, and no one will harm on my holy mountain. So the beginning and the end are clear. The beginning was veganism, the end was veganism. Eating animals didn't come into the world until sin entered the world, until they were cast out of Eden. So, wait, sin entered the world, we started murdering and eating animals. Sin, okay, makes sense. Why don't we strive towards these perfect states? Ecclesiastes 3:19 says man has no advantage over the animals. We all come from dust, and to dust all return. Let me tell you a quick story, because the number one excuse I ever heard was God says it's okay. And there's a phrase, by the way, that people bandy about, and they don't even know what it means. I've noticed though, a lot of people say things they don't know what it means. There's a phrase, oldest excuse in the book. I don't think people understand where it's coming from and what it means. The book is the Bible, and the oldest excuse is God says it's okay. It's been the number one excuse to harm, kill, torture, and murder anybody and everybody on this planet. As George Carlin once said, my favorite philosopher, more people have been killed in the name of God than for any other reason. Well, let me just make an addendum to that. More people and animals have been killed in the name of God than for any other reason. When do people love in the name of God, by the way? It's always killing somebody else in the name of God. Kill, kill, kill. I'm at New Jersey City University one day during a lecture, and I used to have these premonitions before talk. I'd go, oh, they're going to ask about lions eating zebras today. They're going to bring up the Bible today, whatever it was. They're going to bring up the plan argument today. So I had it in my mind that a woman was going to bring up the Bible. Sure enough, Q&A comes along. She brings up the Bible. So we start having this scriptural battle. And keep in mind, that's all it is. When people say Genesis 9:3, God says, I give you everything that moveth on the ground. Well, then I come back with 129. They come back with whatever. And then we just have this battle about, I got a peaceful scripture, you got a violent one. So we start having the scriptural battle. And then she says to me, Gary, you can't pick and choose from the Bible. You have to accept it all. I said, oh. You know what? Guilty as charged. You're right. I do choose my compassionate scriptures. Kind of like what you're doing with your violent ones. She goes, no, I accept it all. Now, I wanted her to say this. I said, oh, okay, so you accept it all. Can you tell the class what 1 Timothy 2:12 says? She goes silent. I said, yeah, I didn't think you would know that, or even if you did, I didn't think you'd want to say it. It says that women should be silent in front of men. They should sit and obey and be obedient. Shut up. Now, I did it on purpose. I wanted to rile her up. So I said it 10 or 15 times because I'm like, no, shut up. You will obey me. Shut up. Shut up. Now, I knew she was going to say two things at some point during her rant. She was going to say, that's different, and things change. Sure enough, now I let her go. I have to shut up, shut up, shut up. She's like, oh, how dare you talk to me like that? Blah, 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 blah. That's different. Things change. Like, okay, time out, time out. By the way, people are so simple. I love how meat, dairy, and egg eaters think they're creative,
They're so
complicated.
clever, but
You are simpletons, simpletons. That's why I knew she would say this. So I said, time out, just so you know, I don't believe that scripture. I think it's absurd. No woman should have to be silent in front of a man and sit and obey. It's bullshit. But you said something that was interesting to me. You said that's different. Why? She didn't want to answer. I said, why? Because you're the victim in this scenario? Didn't I ask you during my speech to put yourself in the animal's position, the victim's position, and examine this issue from the victim's point of view, not from your point of view? She's still silent. I said, now tell me the other. You said two words near the end, too, that were really telling. What were those two words? She didn't want to say it. She knew it now, what I was getting at. I said, tell me. Now, she did it better than I thought. She takes her fist and she pounds the tissue. She goes, I said, things change. By the time she bent down to hit her hands and look up at me, I was already up there with my arms folded, shaking my head, going, yeah, they sure do. So when do they change for the animals? When do we let go of these barbaric, archaic practices, traditions, and habits? When does it end? The rest of the class, by the way, was wonderful. They were all shaking their heads. The professor was like, oh, that's so sharp, Gary. Unfortunately, I don't have good news to report from her. She didn't get it. She stormed out after the Q&A. I never heard from her. I don't know. Maybe it did sink in at one point. And real quickly, there was another great lecture I had at Valley Forge Christian College in rural Pennsylvania. We had another scriptural battle. And then when I wasn't getting anywhere, I got dramatic. I put my hands up. I wanted everyone to be silent, and I closed my eyes. And I heard them muttering, What's he doing up there, man? Well, what is he? I just wanted them to shut up. They finally shut up. And in my head, now, most of my best stuff was a freestyle. So in my head, I don't have the ending, but I have the beginning. I said, I'm going to list every horrible thing that humans ever did to animals. And I'm going to preface it by saying, if God says this is okay. So they finally stopped after 45 seconds. I said, if God says it's okay to rip the testicles out of baby pigs, if God says it's okay to steal baby animals from their mothers, if God says it's okay to beat elephants in the circus and make them perform, and this goes on for 3 minutes. My brain was pretty sharp back then. It's not so sharp these days, but I was listing every horrible thing that I could think of. 3 minutes. They're getting lower in their chair because I'm getting louder and louder, angrier and angrier. And I finally end and I said, if God says it's okay, then what does the devil do? And as I said it in my own head, I said, oh man, that's sharp. That's tight. Don't ever forget that. And in the back of the room, the Reverend Bruce Marino, Dr. Bruce Marino, used to bring me in all the time. He has his arms crossed. He turns to the class. He said, give Mr. Yourofsky a standing ovation right now. A little fire always shed the light on the darkness. Half the crowd came up to me and said, in the name of Jesus, I'm going to go vegan. I don't know what I was thinking. Unfortunately, the other half did not. But I had a 50% conversion rate most of the time. It was incredible to be on this lecture tour and to get people to listen. Now, the other key thing to convert somebody, at least for me, what I learned, I needed 60 minutes to break down every stupid lie and argument that people had. I left the streets because I only had sometimes 15 seconds, right? I'm standing in front of the circus going, please don't go to the circus. They beat elephants in the circus. Please don't go to the circus. They keep them in chains. It's like, fuck, if I only had some time. And then I got into the classroom and all of a sudden I had the time and I watched people go, beginning of my lecture, arms crossed, 15 minutes in, it's uncrossed. 30 minutes in, they're like this with their hands on their head. By the end, they're like, oh my God, I get it. I get it. And one more quick story. I'm sorry. I'm a long talker.
love it.
Macomb Community College here in Michigan. I'll never forget this. I had another religious person during Q&A. Again, it was the dumbest, most common excuse. And we went back and forth scripturally. And then he's just fighting me. So he starts telling me the reasons why God says it's okay. And he doesn't know what I'm doing because I'm now counting on my hand. He's talking and he sees me get up to 7. He goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm counting how many times you say the word kill. Continue. This is good news. He froze. I saw it got through to him. And when Q&A ended, he came up and he said, man, I don't know what I was thinking. In the name of Jesus, in the name of God, I am going vegan. I can't believe all I wanted to do was kill. I said, yeah, I can't either. Again, I'm religious people. You know, when I first started in 96, I couldn't wait to talk to two groups of people, religious people and veterinarians. Do you know who two of the toughest crowds ever to speak to? Veterinarians, dog and cat people, just like most people. And dog and cat people are like the most difficult crowd. But religious people who always want to kill in the name of God, never love in the name of God, never be merciful. By the way, for the religious people out there, let's just say everything you think is true. Animals are inferior. They don't count. They're stupid. I disagree wholeheartedly, but you know what? I'll acquiesce. Okay, you're right. So I'm still going to come back and say then, can't you be merciful at this point? Can't you show some mercy to your victims? What are you going to kill them for eternity? All right, you dominated the world. You won. You're right. Humans are the kings and the queens of the world. Okay, now have some mercy on your victims. How long will you steal their babies? How long will you treat them as commodities and property? How long will you continue to exploit them? When will you grow and change? I mean, the world is about growing and changing. Even if you believe in creation, not evolution, it's still about evolving. Hey, we're supposed to get better than the previous generation, but the one constant forever has been the exploitation of innocent beings who don't deserve this. The exploitation of cows and pigs and chickens and turkeys, billions of land animals every year, trillions of marine animals. You want to talk about who's got it the worst? The marine animals. By the way, do you notice that when we talk about people who want to go out and kill marine animals, we just add an ing to the marine animal's name? We want to talk about how bad they got. Yeah, we go fishing, whaling, sealing. You just put an ing on their moniker, and it references killing them. Because we don't go deering, even though it's evil what hunters do to deer. We don't go cowing and chickening, but the marine animals have been demeaned so horribly that you just put an ing on whatever one, and it means that, yeah, we just go out and kill them for fun and for and none of this is even essential, as you know. Even if it were, it still wouldn't justify it. But you want to talk about, inessential cruelty that's taking place? Look at the meat, dairy, and egg industry. No justification. Circuses, rodeos, zoos, horse carriages, vivisection, everything that we are fighting against, nobody would miss one bit. Not a single bit. Life would continue as is in a more kinder and gentler fashion.
Well, absolutely, Gary, but the protein myth is still running rampant, even though everyone knows a vegan. Everyone on this planet knows somebody who's alive, who's been vegan. Do you think it will ever end? This protein myth, this lie?
I don't even understand it anymore. If you still think you can only get protein from animal products, you're just a fucking idiot. I don't even like answering it. Because here, this is how I would answer it. And this is back in the day. I would say, I'll tell you what, name me one food that doesn't have protein. It is the least important nutrient because it's the most abundant. Yes, fruits and vegetables have protein. Lentils have 1 cup of lentils is about 25 grams of protein. If you look, and by the way, you don't need excessive amounts of protein. But even if you want it, guess what? 25 grams per cup of lentils. A can of beans about 25 grams. There's a new product by Big Mountain. It's soy-free tofu made from fava beans. 64 grams of protein, zero fat, by the way, in one package. Nuts and seeds have protein. Spirulina, which is a seaweed, you could add it to your smoothies or take it in a little pill form. It's 90% protein. I think it's the most protein abundant food on the planet. Okay, listen, unless you're going to starve yourself to death, unless you're going to engage in anorexia or bulimia, it's impossible not to get enough protein. In fact, there's a medical term. It's funny, people love to say this the most, right? Protein. What about protein? But nobody even knows the name of the disease, which is a protein deficiency, which I'm going to tell you. It's called kwashiorkor. People are probably going to think I'm making it up. You don't even know about it because it doesn't fucking exist in this part of the world. The only people suffering from it are people that are starving to death. And it has nothing to do with a protein deficiency. It's a food deficiency. There is no food to be eaten anywhere. So, unless you're not eating, you don't have to worry about it. But a good comeback too is when people say to me, "What about protein nowadays?" I'll say, "Yeah. What about quercetin?" What? Oh, you never heard of that? Yeah. You notice how nobody ever says, "What about cobalt?" There are hundreds of nutrients the human body needs, but what about protein? What about protein? People are just reiterating the idiotic things that they keep hearing from idiots like Ted Nugent, from idiots like Pierce Morgan, from idiot doctors, by the way. And I say this now, I want to clarify something. If you are broken, if you have a broken arm, if you need a quadruple bypass surgery, yeah, you want to talk to a doctor. But if you want nutrition advice, if you want to prevent atherosclerosis, if you want to prevent heart disease and cancer, you don't want to talk to a doctor. Doctors get about 2.5 hours of nutrition training during an 8-year medical degree. That's not 2.5 courses. That's not 2.5 semesters. That's 2.5 hours. That's 5 minutes here, 6 minutes here, 4 minutes here. What they get trained in is how to give people drugs or how to fix somebody who's broken because the money to be made if you're a doctor is to fix people, is to give them surgeries and things like that. So yeah, if you're listening to idiots, you're gonna act like an idiot. If you listen to fools, you're gonna be a fool. Stop. Use the brain that God gave you, for crying out loud. How could you justify everything you're doing and the eating of flesh? Blood, veins, muscles, and tendons. I just did an Instagram video recently where I talked about what meat, dairy, and egg eaters do is bestiality. People think we're weird. They eat eggs. Where do eggs come from? It comes out of a hen's ass. Since when did something that came out of somebody else's asshole become food? And vegans are weird. You guys pay somebody to squeeze cow tits to drink the secretions that were meant for calves? You think that this is normal and that you think almond milk or hemp milk or coconut milk or hazelnut milk is weird? Are you fucking crazy? It's like, I swear. I I can't prove it, but I'm almost convinced we are now living in a simulation. It's not something that I give lectures about that I can really talk about, but things are so absurd to me after 29 years of veganism, 29 years of having my blinders off of being awake. I now look up at least once a day, if not 5, 10 times a day. I'm like, okay, all right, this is fun. Okay, can we stop this fucking game already? It can't be. There's no way somebody said I was weird because I ate 30 bananas in one day and they're eating dead pigs, dead cows, dead chickens, dead turkeys, things that come out of a hen's ass and things that ooze out of a cow's tit in one day. Come on. This is a fucking joke. It's almost like it's Curb Your Enthusiasm. This is Seinfeld. Like somebody is just fucking with us. This
You can
can't
hear
be
the
real.
music. You can hear
Yeah.
the music from Curb
I
when you talk to people. Yeah,
It's
that's
yeah.
good.
I don't get it anymore. I really don't. And again, I don't know. I don't know what the fight is. I don't know why people just can't say, "Oh man, I see what you're saying." Okay, and like, why not? And by the way, why not just minimize cruelty? Why does it have to be maximized? It's bad enough that animals and the earth they die just because we're here. All of our equipment, the environmental pollution, the cars, the houses, the apartments. Do we have to maximize what the animals go through by eating them on top of it all? By wearing their skin on top of it all? By torturing them in vivisection experiments? By making them perform in circuses and rodeos? Why in the world do we have to maximize slavery, violence, and cruelty against innocent beings?
Yeah, I don't know. I love what you said, Gary, about being embarrassed to be a human, part of this human. I'm embarrassed.
I'm always embarrassed, and people are proud of it. In fact, I also did another video. I think I talked about how people like to insult people by calling them animals. That's like the biggest compliment you can give me. If you called me a monkey or a chicken or a turkey, I'm like, wow, really? Have you seen the head of a turkey? All those different colors, they're so beautiful. Get out of here. I'm a turkey. In fact, I think I did one at Sasha Farm where my ex-wife Eric and I were teasing each other, and she said, Gary, you're a jackass. And then there was Fred the donkey, right? I'm like Fred? Oh my God, he's so beautiful. And she's sitting next to one of the dogs that used to hang out there. I said, Erica, you're a bitch. She goes, oh my God, like Sadie, you're kidding me. Just like her. Right. So it's like, it's so weird to me that we insult each other with animals, and animals are the coolest, most beautiful beings on the planet. It's crazy to me. You would insult me if you called me a human, if you referred to me as another human.
Do you think we're in hell, Gary?
Yes. Oh my God. Jeanette, and there's another phrase, right? Heaven on earth, hell on earth,
Yep.
whatever. Like, this is hell. This
Yeah.
has to, like, that would be the only thing that makes sense for what
Yeah.
animals are going through and what humans are going through. Not that it's my concern these days. I'm an animal rights activist through and through, 100%. But there's no way this world can be anything but hell. I think you nailed it, and I think that's where we are living.
I think about this and I always wanted to ask you that because it only makes sense that way. It doesn't make sense another way. I wanted to ask you, what do you say to people that say, I know you've gotten this question. You've gotten all the questions. You're the only one who can answer these, the way you can answer them. Millions of animals like rabbits and bugs are killed in the production of fruit, your precious fruit and vegetables, Gary. What do you say to the people that say you kill animals by eating fruit and vegetables?
Several things. Well, first of all, it's a disingenuous comment because they don't give a shit about bunny rabbits and insects any more than they give a shit about cows, pigs, and chickens. I mean, it's so childish to sit there and say, yeah, but you do this. Okay. And by the way, this world is run by meat, dairy, and egg eaters, by murderers, animal murderers. You act like vegans are in charge of anything that we would justify and okay this behavior. It's the meat, dairy, and egg eating farmers of the world. It's the meat, dairy, and egg eaters of the world that are killing all the animals in these other situations. Now, we could solve that problem. And yes, it is an issue. I do want to clarify one thing. Being vegan means not agreeing and approving to the exploitation of animals. Meat, dairy, and egg industries are exploitative. Vivisection, circuses, rodeo. This is exploiting animals. What's going on in the crops of the world, that's what I just talked about it's bad enough we live on this planet, animals are suffering, dying. Why maximize it? But we could solve that problem. We could get together, indoor vertical farming, which is, by the way, where the future is headed. And I'm not even going to talk about whether climate change is real or not, because I really don't give a shit, because we've always had problems with droughts, with early freezes that ruin crops, or infestations. If you did it indoor, guess what? You control the weather, you control the environment, you control infestations, and you can grow more food this way and in a safer way. And that would get rid of all the accidental deaths that are taking place in the crops of the world. So there's a solution to that. Now, vegans have a solution, by the way, to stop killing cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, and fish. Stop fucking eating them. Okay, burn down the slaughterhouses, get rid of them. We got a solution. Then I'd love to hear your solution for fixing what goes on in the crops. Let's get together and use those so-called big brains that humans have. We certainly have a technological big brain. Ethically, we're all just parasites, but we could get together and solve these other issues. I did an Instagram video about this too, about all the crop deaths. But just so everybody knows too, there's a number out there that I haven't seen disputed. It's about 7 billion animals die in the crops of the world. Well, guess what? More than 80 billion land animals die by the meat, dairy, and egg industries. More than 2 trillion marine animals die. So it's still not on pace with what's going on in the meat, dairy, and egg industry. So again, let's get rid of that. Then let's get together and solve that problem. And I'll even be open. I'm not saying that animals aren't dying elsewhere. They die on the roads of the world. I saw a number recently, 2 billion animals are hit by cars. And by the way, millions of humans die from car accidents. This is how disingenuous these people are when they talk about crop deaths. So keep in mind, they're always talking about humans being more important. Humans, fuck the animals don't count. I don't see them wanting to ban cars when millions of humans die accidentally on the roads of the world. I don't see them wanting to get rid of roads and highways. So they're just walking contradictions. We acknowledge this. Yeah, okay, let's get together. Let's fix the roads. Let's fix the crops of the world. And let's fix other things too so animals don't have to needlessly suffer and die. But all in all, just want to, clarify again, it's a disingenuous argument. It's not valid. After 29 years, Jeanette, I still have not heard one valid argument, one valid excuse for what we do to animals on this planet. But I do hear excuses, excuse after just and listen, why not make an excuse not to kill? I used to end most of my speeches after I mean I poured my heart out. I gave them all the information they needed, which is why I ended nearly all of my speeches by saying, "So what's your excuse now?" Because at that point, you're just a dickhead if you're not going to become vegan or get on the path to veganism after I've informed you with everything I told you about. If you can watch Earthlings and still be a meat, dairy, and egg eater, you're just a dickhead. Stop it already. Stop being defiant about something that is so vicious and cruel and so simple to solve. Live vegan. And don't tell me it's hard. Don't tell me you're going to fall apart either. I don't know if I can get my sleeve up here. I'm a 55-year-old man. I've been vegan for 29 years. Are you fucking kidding me? All these meat eaters walking around like flabby little fucking babies. Get the fuck out of here already. And Tori Washington, by the way, just became a vegan bodybuilder that qualified for Mr. Olympia. Patrick Baboumian's a big badass. There are badass vegan athletes all over the world. Stop telling me you need meat, dairy, and eggs to be a top athlete. Novak Djokovic, by the way, best tennis player ever. He's been a raw vegan for 15, 20 years. I know he's been in a decline the last 2 years. He's at the end of his career. At his height, he dominated Federer. He dominated Nadal. He's the best ever. So don't tell me that you have to be a meat, dairy, and egg eater to be the best at your sport.
Very true. The best athletes are vegan. Okay, now, question. Do you have any non-vegan friends or family members?
Well, first of all, out of all the hundreds of thousands to millions I've converted, guess what? Never converted one friend or family member. Insane. Give me a room full of strangers. I'm a superstar. Put me in a room with my family and friends. All of a sudden, I'm an idiot. I might as well just put a fucking clown nose on. It's like, what the, you guys, they don't listen to shit. So yes, I do have, they're all non-vegans. Now, I'll say this, my dad was pretty cool. I didn't convert him, but my dad became vegan. My dad was 411 pounds. Diabetic, 7 heart medications every day. And his knees were so bad because he was so heavy, he needed a knee transplant operation. Doctor says, there's no way I'm putting you under anesthetic, Ron. Are you crazy? You're 400 pounds. You need to lose a couple hundred pounds. So my dad was a jokester. My dad says, well, my son really wants me to go vegan. To my surprise, the doctor says, you know what, Ron, you should do what your son says. That my dad ends up saying to the doctor, I thought you were going to be on my side, doc. He said, I am on your side, Ron. Do what your son says. So the doctor converted my dad for health reasons. I got him on the ethics after that. But my dad lost 189 pounds in 1 year sitting on his fat ass on the couch watching Springer and Maury Povich and Wheel of Fortune all day long. But instead of eating hot dogs and cheese, I'd show up at his house. He'd have a bowl of green peppers and tomatoes. And I'd even say, like, wait a second, you're eating green peppers and tomatoes for dinner? Fuck, man, that's like level 27 vegan. I'm not even doing that shit. Are you kidding me? I need to lose weight. So I started talking to him about the ethics after that. He ended up getting it. And then he started hanging out with my vegan friends. I'd invite him when we went out to a vegan meal. And my friends would talk to my vegan. They're like, man, I see where you get your radicalness, Gary. I'm like, what? That's my shit. He's using my line. Don't you know that's my shtick? What do you mean he's radical because of me? The other way around. But my dad ended up being really cool. My dad went to Sasha Farm a couple of times. He loved it there, and he was really happy that he got in touch with this compassionate
Wow.
side and that he found veganism. Now, keep in mind, he couldn't exercise because of his knees. Imagine if he could have exercised. He lost 189 pounds with no exercise. It's like unheard of. But if you eat properly, it's going to be pretty hard to become overweight. Now, I want to point this out too. I'm going to rail on some vegans out there. Um, I noticed that vegans always tell people to eat fruits and vegetables, and it's true, you should. I eat tons of them every day. But I noticed most vegans never eat fruits and vegetables. You're living off Impossible Burgers and Gardein and Beyond Meat. And listen, I get it. Stuff tastes great. I'm not dogging out these companies. God bless you guys for coming up with mock products that all these addicts can have. But it's not healthy stuff. It's the equivalent of unhealthy, meat products. Now, it's ethical, and that's all I'm concerned about. Honestly, I'm not the health police. You want to be unhealthy, but I'm telling you that if you don't clean up your diet eventually and start eating whole foods, my diet is all based on whole foods. Very little to no mock products ever. And the truth is, because the few times that they do sneak in, I don't feel good a couple hours later. As I'm eating it, it's good. Well, why? Well, it's all fat. It's fat, sugar, and salt. Well, hell yeah, fat, sugar, and salt tastes great. Fuck you. Put it on an old shoe and feed it to somebody like, you know what? It doesn't taste that bad. Of course not. But in the long run, you're not going to feel good. So get to the fruits and the veggies that you're telling everybody else to eat. And if you eat that stuff, you're going to be fit. And of course, work out. You got to exercise. I'm at the gym nearly every day. If I'm not at the gym, by the way, I'm doing a 90-minute walk outside. My off days are still active days, but I like to lift 5 days a week at least, sometimes 7 days. During winter right now, it's kind of a little too cold to walk outside. So I'm at the gym every day, but exercise, eat properly, and you'd be amazed at the results. When people would tell me, when the students would say to me, oh man, Garrett, they'd always peg me as 10 years younger than I was. I'd always say, yeah, try eating a fucking mango once in a while. You'd be surprised at the results. My God, eat a piece of fruit once in a while. And no, don't just eat one piece. I want to clarify this. You'll notice that people eat 10 slices of pizza, 35 chicken wings, right? And July 4th, give me 4 hot dogs, 3 hamburgers. They go out and have 4 chicken breasts. And all of a sudden, there's a bunch of bananas. They want to take one banana and go, hey, Gary, I didn't feel really strong today. Just had a banana. A banana? Not even a mouse on a wheel. What the fuck, a banana? Why don't you eat 10 bananas and tell me you're not going to feel full? Stop treating fruit like it's a snack. Fruit is a meal. Eat a whole entire watermelon. Eat 20 peaches. Eat 30 bananas a day. You have to eat enough calories from the fruit to get full. That's why I tell people at least one meal, if you're going to be fruit, it's got to be the equivalent of 10 bananas. Each banana is 100 calories. There's 1,000 calories. That's my favorite meal after I work out, man. I can't wait to get home. Drop 10 bananas in a smoothie, bunch of pomegranates, maybe add some blueberries, maybe add some strawberries, maybe add some mangoes, whatever it is. I'm loving it. Add some kale. It's like, man, I look forward. It's my favorite meal of the day after the gym. It just feeds my body and nourishes my body.
Yes, I love that you said that. Thank you so much. Everybody here, they know, but there might be somebody out there watching. They're eating one banana. They're thinking, "What's wrong? Why am I hungry?" Yeah,
Why?
okay. You
It's
never
100
ate one slice of
calories.
pizza. You never ate
Yeah.
one fucking slice of pizza. Okay, so Gary, I wanted to know, do you have friends? Mike, I want to ask you, are you able to be friends with people who are eating dead animal body parts?
Yes, I live in a
How?
world.
How? Do
Yeah.
you eat with them? Do you sit and
No. Well,
they?
so 1997, I laid down a rule. If you eat with me, you eat vegan. We don't eat together. And there are no jokes allowed either while you're eating with me. So my oldest friend, since I've known Darren since I was 8, believe it or not, we used to live around the block from each other. He'll eat vegan food with me. He knows the rule, and he loves it. And he always makes the statement too after, man, if you live with me, I'd be vegan all the time. I'm like, you act like this is fucking difficult. Stop being such a pathetic bastard. Are you kidding me? So I went to the Blue Nile, the Ethiopian joint. We got a lentil, vegan feast. That was so hard to say, vegan feast instead of the meat feast. Or I boiled 4 cups of water and I dropped in 1 cup of barley. This is now difficult to you. Oh my God, how do I make grains, Gary? What do you mean? Boil water and drop them in. Well, how do I know it's done? When the water's gone, idiot. What do you mean? This is not fucking rocket science. Stop it already. Right? Oh, you think it's hard to eat 10 bananas? You can't peel the banana. So if you eat with me, you eat vegan. Now, of course, at the gym, I usually know everyone at whichever gym that I go to. Most of them, if not all of them, are meat, dairy, and egg eaters. I can talk to other people. Now, of course, we don't talk about. Now, the only time I talk about veganism with non-vegans these days, if my radar goes off and it's telling me this person would be interested, because I'm not looking for fights anymore. This is 29 years. I can't take the face-to-face combat anymore because now I just want to annihilate people. Now, if somebody argues with me, I'm looking at their esophagus going, am I going to hit them straight on in the esophagus or from the side? Which way? And I used to thrive on a confrontation. Honestly, back in the day, I debated Ted Nugent twice. I needed a confrontation. I needed that classroom to have their arms crossed for me to just shine. Nowadays, I'm tired. In fact, I think Morgan Freeman or Tim Robbins in Shawshank Redemption, one of them said, I think it was Morgan Freeman said that old prisoners don't become rehabilitated. That's not why we slow down. We become tired. I'm tired. I really don't want to fight. I don't have the energy anymore. So the only time I'll discuss veganism is when I sense somebody just doesn't know and they'd be interested. And you'd be surprised. I've converted, yeah, lots of people at the gym. I find those people. I know. I'm like, you know what? She'd be interested. You know what? He'd be interested. I'll talk to him about it. Yeah, I'm not going to talk to him about it. Whatever that, we all have the radar. I would act like I'm the only one. Come on, you know when somebody is interested. You can sense when somebody wants to know. So I talk with people that aren't interested in veganism. I talk about sports. I'm a sports junkie too. I can talk about other things besides this. But it's listen. I hate humans. I think most people know this, and I proudly say that I'm a misanthrope. I proudly say that I fucking hate our species, and we're a scourge. We're the scourge of all scourges. That doesn't mean I'm still like Costanza. We're living in a society here, so I'm still living here. I have to communicate with people. I have to talk to people every now and then. So people would be surprised. Paul Bashir from Anonymous for the Voiceless,
Yes.
he visited me, I don't know, it was 5, 6, 7 years ago. He came to town. And after hanging out with me, coming to the gym, seeing me, whatever, give a homeless person some oranges and some bananas, he said, "Man, you are the nicest misanthrope I've ever seen in my life." I said, "It's not like I'm walking around tripping old people and throwing rocks at kids at the playground. It's okay to hate our species. It's okay to say it publicly. It's okay to feel this way. In fact, if you don't hate our species, you're living in a fucking bubble. You're living in Fantasyland." And I remember Fantasyland, honestly. When I do have the fights, the confrontations, the first thing I think about is, oh man, I wish I didn't know. Life was so much easier when I didn't know and I didn't care. Of course, I don't mean this, but this is the first thing I think about. So, um, I, just because I hate our species doesn't mean I can't interact with people all the time. People would be shocked if they saw how I interact. When I walk in the gym, I'm like, "Hey, Adrian, what's up, Big John? Hey, Mr. Ed. Hey, hey, Blair. What's up?" I'm saying hi to everybody. Hey, Gary, what's up? Everybody knows me. I know everybody. We all shoot the shit. So, but if it's mealtime, it's vegan food. It's plant-based food, and there are no exceptions. Nobody gets a fucking free pass.
So for the holidays, how do you navigate holidays as a vegan for like Thanksgiving and Christmas?
So let me give some advice to everybody. Now, this is this like the simulation theory that I can't really describe. Uh, I'm going to tell you, family, I believe, is also one of the downfalls of society. I'm not going to go into in too much detail, but real quickly, I think people end up living their lives for their family, for their
Yes.
mom, for their dad, everything they do. How would mommy and daddy feel about this? And I hate that shit. One of the biggest liberations I ever did after I liberated myself from cruelty to animals was I actually cut ties with most of my family, and it was so wonderful to do that. I haven't done a family holiday since '97, and it wasn't my choice because I offered to make vegan holidays. I wanted to. In fact, I did in '97 before. There was an incident I'll tell you about in a second, but I did a vegan Rosh Hashanah, and everybody came over and loved it. Oh my God, imagine that! We're not eating cardboard. Hey, Gary, this is really good. Oh wow, these vegetables are really good. Yeah, no shit. What do you mean? You shocked that yams are good and asparagus is good and green beans are good or a tofurkey roast is good? Stop it. Stop being so closed-minded. And since when did meat, dairy, and egg eaters become gourmets? Isn't that amazing too? They want to critique vegan food. These are the same people that'll stop at 7-Eleven and get one of those hot dogs and been sitting on the grill for 48 hours. They will buy a sandwich from a gas station. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, I had one of those veggie burgers you recommended. It didn't taste right. It didn't taste right? You eat gas station food, but the veggie burger didn't taste right? Are you fucking out of your mind? So in '97,
Yes, they are. They're
yes, they are.
fucking out of their minds.
I I was still one of those typical vegans that was okay with people eating dead animals in front of, me. I brought my own food to a holiday and they couldn't help but every time they pick up the roast beef tray, they would hold it in my face. Gary, you want some roast beef? I politely asked them 3 times, stop that. It's not funny. You guys know I have a great sense of humor. Don't act like I don't. You can hear it today too. I'm a funny guy. Okay. In fact, I think I'm a comedian more than I am a philosopher. I think I'm George Carlin and Larry David and Mel Brooks and Eddie Murphy and Chris Rock all meshed into one. So, but I said, this is not funny to me. Please stop. After the third time, my Uncle Lenny did this. And I said, okay, put the roast beef tray in my face again, and I'm going to knock your ass out at Rosh Hashanah dinner. You want to see something funny? I'm going to knock out Uncle Lenny's ass right here at Rosh Hashanah dinner. Wouldn't that be funny? And then all of a sudden, of course, everybody attacks me. Oh, Gary's out of control. I'm out of control. I asked you not to do this, that it wasn't funny. So that's when I realized that this is a relationship that cannot work. Vegans eating with non-vegans cannot work. It is, and even if you're doing it, don't tell me deep down inside you're not frustrated, you're not irate, you're not disgusted, you're not ticked off at what everyone else is doing. So I realized my table had to be a sanctuary. Now that also doesn't mean that I won't eat at a meat, dairy, egg eating establishment that offers vegan food, but my table, my that's the sanctuary I have right now. It has to be a peaceful place. So that was the rule I instituted in '97. I will encourage every vegan to institute the same rule. Holidays, get togethers, whatever it is. If you're going out with friends and family, you demand, don't ask. We're not asking you to be nice. We are this is a compassionate dictatorship. We are demanding you to be ethical in front of us. And if you can't handle it, well then screw you. I'm just going to move on. And listen, everybody tells me, oh, but family this and family is important. And by the way, another bullshit lie that society just pushes all the time. How come dozens and dozens and dozens of my vegan friends over the years would call me on Thanksgiving and Christmas and go, man, I should be at your house right now. I can't believe this. My mom's eating a dead turkey. My dad's eating dead pig flesh. I'm like, I'm eating a tofurkey with yams and smoking a big fat joint. Yeah, how come you're not over? I'm having a fucking blast. This is great. Doyle's eating the tofurkey. My dog Rex is having We're all having a blast. I always had great times during the holidays, and all the vegans that said, oh, Gary, I can't institute your rule. It's so radical. They're miserable. They would call me. Some of them would cry. I can't believe I just got in a big fight over this. Why the fuck are you there? You are not obligated. Now, I get it. Kids, it's not that kids don't need a mommy and a daddy. You do when you're growing up. Okay, if you're an adult and you think you still have to engage with mommy and daddy on the holidays, wake the fuck up. Stop it already. If they don't have the courtesy, by the way, for one meal to eat something peaceful with you, so they don't have to aggravate you, I question the love that they have for you, the respect that they have for you. Again, it's one meal. In fact, you know what broke up my relationship with my mom, my sister's family? On my birthday, I want to say 2011-ish. I'd instituted the rule 97. So when we got together, it was always a vegan meal. I was passing through Chicago where they live. At that point, I could still only tolerate one day a year with my family. So I was doing a lecture. I think it was at DePaul. And they said, "Oh, Gary, you want to meet at Red Robin?" They just put a Boca Burger on the menu and they got 3 vegan buns. Sure, burger and fries. Okay, what's wrong with that, right? And of course, I assume we're all getting Boca Burgers and French fries. Well, I get there and all of a sudden I hear somebody, the audacity. My niece and my nephew order a fish sandwich, macaroni and cheese. My other nephew orders a veggie burger, but double cheese. I can't believe what's going. Like, what? How come today, all of a sudden, after 15 years of this rule, they decided to challenge me like this? I stood up and I left, but before I left, it was quite a scene. In fact, if you go to YouTube, punch in "family" Gary Yourofsky, I actually discuss it. But in a nutshell, I basically said, "You guys have had 364 days to eat whatever the fuck you wanted to eat before I got here. One meal, not even 3 meals. That I was just stopping for fucking dinner and I was driving back home. One meal I ask you not to eat dead animals, but I'm the crazy one? You fucking addicts? Are you insane? One meal you can't eat without dead animals? But vegans are crazy. Vegans are weird. So um it was quite a liberating moment, though. I have to tell you that. Cut
Thank you.
cut the invisible umbilical cord that you still have attached to your family. You're going to be a lot happier. Now, I want to say this: there are some people that have great relationships with their mom and their dad, or one or the other, and those parents, will eat vegan. Hey, if that's the case, do it. I think that's great. My ex-wife Erica, she didn't want to institute this rule years ago, and I kept explaining why she had to. If you ever talk to her, she says it's one of the best things she ever did. It was a chance to be active. Now, when she visits them for 2, 3 days, maybe 4 or 5 days, they all eat vegan. She goes, "Oh my God, everybody loves it." And for 5 days, nobody contributed to cruelty. When her brother comes over, brings his friends, they all eat vegan. She goes, "This is like, because I can't be as active as you, Gary, but this is my form of activism that for 5 days I get to cook vegan food for everybody or make sure when we go to the best vegan joint in town or the best place that offers vegan food and make sure everybody gets all the best meals." So use it as a form of activism.
Yeah.
And don't let cruel people win. Don't let them trump you. Ethics trumps non-ethics.
Yeah.
Vegans get to trump the meat, dairy, and egg eaters our way or the highway.
Thank you. Thank you for standing up for something. Thank you for standing for something because so many people, they don't stand for anything. That's why they're miserable. That's why they're falling for everything. And you stand up and yeah, okay, guys, that's it. One meal. It's not even the whole day. Ask your family to have a fucking vegan Christmas. And you know what? Somebody might go vegan because of that. Somebody might realize they can still eat a fucking meal without murder and death on the fucking plate.
Yeah, and still have a wonderful good time
Wow.
too. Listen,
And one,
and
yeah,
and it might get them on the path.
yep,
Listen, I'm a realist too. I understand a lot of people don't go vegan instantly. I didn't do it myself either, so I can't really fault people. But you can get them on the path and say, "Wow, this tofurkey's really good. Oh, this tofurkey ham is really good. Oh my God, you know what? I'm really
yeah,
full with all these yams, green
yeah,
beans, and asparagus and broccoli and all the vegetable dishes that are taking place." So you start introducing food is a great way to be active. It
Yes.
really is. In fact, you know what? When I had the chance during my lecture tour, if I was passing through a city and knew somebody who wanted to help, and there's like, what can I do? I said, you know what? Why don't you show up to my lecture at Miami-Dade? Linda Bauer used to do this, great activist from Miami. I said, why don't you bring some of those mock ribs, bring some tofuti cuties, meet me at the class? Because I'll tell you what, after the lecture, I got just about everybody willing to eat some plant-based food. So, in fact, there was one time I think over at Oakland Community College over in Michigan, it was one of those evening classes. It was a 3 hour class, so I finished around the 2 minute and 15 mark after Q&A. And I said, and it was a great class. It was one of those wonderful classes where everybody was going vegan. I said, you know what, guys? There's a Kroger down the street. Hang out. We're going to take a break. And I turned to the teacher, Miss Pitts, do whatever else you need to do. I'm coming back in 20 minutes. I come back with tofuti cuties. If you haven't tried these, I mean, they're insane. It's an ice cream bar. You can't even tell the difference. So I have everybody unwrap it at the same time. I said, don't, everybody, we're going to take a bite at the same time. Everybody took a bite, and it was a collective guffaw, a gasp. They're like, oh my God, it tastes just like ice cream. No shit, imagine that. We're eating really good stuff. I said, all it takes is somebody to be creative in the kitchen to make something, to veganize something and make it taste just like what you're used to. And most of the time, it's fat, sugar, and salt anyways. People act like, oh my God, you don't like the way meat tastes. That's one of the regrets I have, Jeanette, is during my speech, I said, meat tastes good. I would challenge people to tell me there's two words why you eat it. Taste. No, it doesn't. If I killed a chicken and threw it on somebody's desk and said, eat it, they'd look at me like I was crazy. You better cover it in oil, cook it, fry it, bake it, put some salt and pepper on it, put some garlic on there, put it between two slices of bread, some tomatoes, onions, pickles, ketchup, mustard. It's everything. We like the way it's prepared. So you can prepare vegan food to make it taste the same. Its flesh tastes terrible. You don't get excited when you see a dead squirrel on the side of the road, a dead raccoon, a dead deer. You don't start salivating, going, You're like, why? I
We
thought you were meat
know
eaters. Yeah,
we're not omnivores because when we
right.
see a fly, we don't want to catch it
You're right.
and eat
All
it.
my
When there's
dogs
a
used to want to
roach,
do. Yeah, all my dogs. I'm like, no, don't eat a fly. I'm like, well, yeah. We look at a fly. Like, So it's true. There's nothing omnivorous, carnivorous about the human body.
okay, two quick questions because I want to let you go. Guys,
Okay.
sashafarm.org. It's in the chat. Please donate even $1, whatever you have, to get this farm in the hands of the animals which are living on this farm so that they can live in peace there. Please check out the website, sashafarm.org. I put it in the chat. Please, all my followers, please, 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 please donate. Okay, now, two quick questions, Gary. So we have the B12. Now, I'm on a big B12 kick. I've done a documentary on it. There's all these, I've interviewed a lot of people on B12 because it's kind of like it's like the protein. It's kind of like the Achilles heel. Because most people do know you can get protein from other sources, but the B12 debate, this is the Achilles heel of the veganism, the vegan diet. Now, question, do you currently take supplements?
I don't. And I just had my B12 level checked actually about 2 months ago with my testosterone. B12 is 351, it's supposed to be 200 through 900. So I'm definitely in the acceptable range. And my testosterone was high, it was 784, and it goes from like 300 to 900. This is all off vegan food. Now, I want to clarify something. American Journal of God, was it the American Journal of Nutrition? I want to say. And I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. They did a study. It's on my website though, adapt.org, two T's on adapt. And they said that 39% of Americans are B12 deficient. Well, if only about 1% of Americans are vegan, how in the fuck is B12 a vegan issue? It's an issue for everybody. And the only reason some animals have some B12 flowing through their veins. One, it comes from soil. That's where it originally comes from, the earth. So cows are eating from the ground. Chickens and turkeys are eating from the ground. And all the food that we feed them has been supplemented with B12. So you're getting it secondarily, but you're getting a bunch of shit you don't need. What's the point of eating a dead animal if it comes with cholesterol, huge amounts of fat, wrong kind of protein, which is too acidic for the human body? So it doesn't make any sense. Now, I'm not an anti-vitamin activist. If people want to take B12 supplements, go ahead, take a B12 supplement. Like, it's so difficult, by the way. Oh my God, I squirted some B12 liquid into my mouth. Oh my God, I took a, oh, and by these are the same people that take pills all the time. And I don't care what it is, whether it's a one-a-day tablet, whether it's a vitamin pill, whether it's antidepressants. Everyone's on fucking pills and drugs everywhere I look. And all of a sudden, they can't add a B12 pill to the mix. Okay, but B12 comes from the soil or it grows in your gut. And the people that really have a problem too, it's usually a digestion problem. It's a gut issue. So you need to fix your gut. And why is your gut fucked up? Meat, cheese, milk, and eggs. It certainly is not fucked up from broccoli and blueberries and carrots.
So you don't take any supplements.
I don't right now. I have some people urging me to do it. I didn't now. A couple years ago, somebody gave me a bottle of B12. Gary, please take it. I took it. I don't want to waste it. I didn't see a difference. I didn't notice a difference. I've had it tested like this over the years, and it's always been in the same range of this 300 to 500 range, which puts me in the middle of the bracket. But
Yeah.
again, it's listen, if you feel like you need to take it or you want to take it, or even if you should take it, it's not
There's
difficult.
there's a
But
book I'm gonna send you on B12. I discovered this book. It's very interesting. The Enigma of Vitamin B12. I'm gonna send it to you, okay? I'm gonna send you the link. Now, last question, okay? And guys, I'm sorry I didn't get to your questions, but I had questions too. So Gary will come back and you
I
guys
will.
will
I
ask
enjoyed
again.
this.
Thank
I
you so
enjoyed
much,
this.
Gary.
Yeah.
I feel very honored, very, very honored. I have a million questions for you. So, but my last question is, I want to know what is the okay. So what is the one thing that you would tell vegans that can help them to live in this hellhole, this non-vegan world? What is one thing that has helped you over the years to be able to function as a very, very important member of society, just live in this world, knowing what is happening 24/7, 365 to these innocent, precious beings?
There's no magic formula, but stand your ground, be confident, speak out, understand that you're always on the right side when you're vegan. Understand that no matter what they say to you, no matter how much it hurts, you're still right. You're doing the ethical thing. And to be ethical in an unethical world, to be logical in an illogical world, it's tough. For me, I know this a lot of people don't want to do this, but more and more isolation. I don't want to fit in. I don't want to hang out with other people. I go to the gym. I get my 2 hours of social time every day when I'm at the gym in the morning. After 2 hours, I can't stand fucking humans anymore. I just want to go away. I just want to get back home. I just want to record some videos. I just want to smoke a joint. I just want to be with Carmen right now. I just want to be with Carmen or be by myself in this own beautiful world that I've created. So create yourself a vegan sanctuary and don't let others in if they're not gonna, respect your vegan sanctuary. But I wish I had a better magic formula. Most people know I ended up retiring from activism from basically 2015 to earlier this year. 10 years, my brain had melted for 18 years of being so active in the trenches. Now, understand where I was. I was more active than most. 13 arrests, all those lectures, all those protests, all the media interviews. I never was concerned about myself and my own mental health. And it just hit me. And at the end of 2014, I'm like, man, I gotta back away. I don't feel right. So those 10 years of isolation, I was really isolated. I didn't really talk to anybody. It healed me, and this is why I'm alive again, and I'm preaching again. I'm doing all these videos on Instagram, get some things off my chest. But I'll tell you what, getting things off my chest did always help over the years. When it came time to scream at somebody else, I screamed. It was never my goal. When I went to, now I averaged 200 lectures a year. Amazing that I only had 15 or 20 that turned into a Jerry Springer show. I'm talking 180, 185. I didn't have a divisive comment. And I wasn't talking to vegans. I refused. I was in rural America, rural North Carolina, Beaufort Community College, Halifax Community College, University of Akron, rural Ohio. I went to the face of America, to the heart of America. They needed the message, and I was getting through to them. But those 15 or 20 lectures that turned crazy, you know what? I screamed. I was going to let them walk away. They weren't going to fuck up my day without me fucking up their day. I called them two-legged devils. I got in their face. I threatened people. I threw chairs in classrooms before. I once held a kid over a fucking balcony on the second floor. I said, I'm going to treat you like a chicken. You want to get treated like an animal? I'm going to show you what it's like. I mean, so there were times where I had to do that. But you know what? To get it off my chest, it actually felt great. Most vegans hold it all in, and it makes you more miserable. I wanted to tell that person to fuck off. Listen, that was, again, not my main goal, never my first goal. I want to teach you. I want, I want you to see the light. I want to educate you. But if they're not listening and they're being a jerk, be a jerk back. Get it off your chest. And I still hear this to this day, even on some of my Instagram videos where I love to go off on humans. Most of the comments are, you say everything that I want to say. Everything I feel, you're expressing it. I just can't say it. Say it. Again, don't make it your first thing. And understand where I'm at. This is 29 years of built up frustration where now I'm letting everybody have it. But I still want to educate. If you go look at my Instagram video, I was hanging out in Germany with Anonymous for the Voiceless. I converted, they call her the Iranian grandma. Look how sweet I was to her. There's a couple more videos. I'm on the street. I'm trying to talk. As long as people are listening, yes, teach, be kind, explain it to them. Even if they're not going vegan, becoming vegan on the spot, if they're listening, okay, we have a discussion. If they're being a jerk, be a jerk back. They're just trying to get under your skin, so get under their skin too. You'll feel a lot better. You get it off your chest. People living in again, people are living in the boardroom thinking, I can't act this way. It's gonna look bad on us. You mean people are gonna think we're crazier than they already think we are? Really? People
Yeah.
already hate us. They already think we're crazy. They already think we're goofy. Or they're gonna think that we're goofier because of how we act or what we say.
Yeah.
It's not changing their mind if you sit there and take the high road. The only high road you should be taking is one with a big fat joint in your hand.
I love it. And you know what? I love what you said because, well, basically, I know you feel the same way. Yeah, they look at you like you're crazy, Gary, but you're looking at them like they're crazy. So that's what everybody needs to start fucking doing. It's not
Yes.
normal to eat animals. It's not normal to do what we're doing to these species, to all the animals on the planet. This is not normal. It's not natural. It's not normal. It's not healthy. So you start looking at other people like they're crazy and life's going to
Yes.
get easier. Okay, last question. I promise, I promise, I
No,
promise.
it's okay. This is great. Keep
We
going.
got 2 more minutes. Okay. How can someone, you mentioned Earthlings. Thank you. Earthlings, one of the most important videos. I mean, Gary's speech, I'll put it down below, of course, the most important. And Earthlings and Dominion, and there are so many other, just type in animal cruelty, type in animal slaughterhouse. You know, you don't want to see it, you don't want to face it. But my question to you, Gary, is how can someone watch Earthlings and still eat meat? How can, I don't want to call it meat, dead animal body parts. How can one person watch it and say, oh no, this is a no, I don't want to support this. And another person can literally watch slaughterhouse videos and not be vegan. How?
They're pure evil. I don't know.
No, but
Honestly.
wait, that
Listen, I
can't be
said
because
it earlier.
you're friends with meat eaters. They're not
Yeah.
are
Listen, yeah, I could have evil friends. I could have stupid friends. I'm sure the people I know at the gym are racist and sexist and heterosexist too. I don't know everything about everybody, but all those things exist. So there are no pure people out there. I don't know. I don't know how Darren has tried to be vegan 29 times over the last 29 years. Once a year. I don't even respond anymore. Hey Gary, I'm finally doing it. I'm like, okay, so wait, what's going on with the Lions this year? I just turn it to sports. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. I'm so tired of this.
Yeah.
He has no willpower. I don't know. I don't know how, and I said it earlier during this discussion. If you could watch my speech or Earthlings and not change, you're a psycho, man. There's something wrong. There's something disconnected in your brain. Your conscience is so broken because I didn't grow up vegan. I was not lucky enough to have vegan parents. But when it was brought to my attention, most people know my stepdad was a clown in the circus. I saw the elephant in 1993. I was like, oh my God, this is one unhappy
Backstage.
creature. Right.
Yes.
So that opens me. And then I go to the slaughterhouse. Now I'm crying. I'm still being stubborn, but I'm no longer arguing. That's what I don't get. I don't get the people that hear my speech, that watch Earthlings, and that want to argue. Like I said once, even though I didn't change immediately, it was like, okay, I'm wrong. I'm a hypocrite. Yeah, I'm just being lazy and stubborn right now. The people that want to fight still, then
They're
there's a
pure
screw
evil,
loose.
yes. Yo, they're pure evil. But I have friends that have watched Earthlings, watched Slaughterhouse videos. They're beautiful people. They're such nice people, and they still eat dead animal body parts and their birthing fluids. And I can't wrap my brain around it, Gary.
You
They're
know
good
what?
people.
Well, there's a phrase I was going to say, good people doing bad things. So two things
Mm,
can be true. You can be a good person and you can be engaging in something horrible and evil. And that's what's going on with the
yeah,
meat, dairy, and egg eating community. As I say, they're evil. You know what I'm talking about. Their acts are evil to the animals.
right.
Their comments are evil. But yeah, I know these people at the gym and I'm like, man, I can't believe this person doesn't care. I can't believe Darren hasn't changed. What in the world? It makes me think that some people have a compassion gene and some people don't, or most people don't. And is that what's going on? Why it made sense to you, to me, to
Yeah.
Carmen? Why it makes sense to the 2% of the world that are vegan right now? Sometimes I think, by the way, this is kind of out of left field, but sometimes I think the vegans of the world are reincarnated cows, pigs, chickens, and turkeys. And once it was brought to our attention,
Yeah.
we're like, oh my God, I remember what it was like. I remember what
Yeah.
it was like to be treated like nothing, like my life didn't matter. And that's why I'm going to change. And the other people haven't been reincarnated yet to go through that cycle. But Jeanette, I wish I had an answer. Why? By the way, I've never watched Earthlings. That lasted 5 minutes in my video. Now I was already vegan, but I'm not watching it. That was the most evil fucking thing I could ever. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot do this. So somebody could watch that in its entirety and not change. I don't know. I don't get it. I'll never understand that. I'll never understand people, and it didn't happen often. Really, only a handful of times, believe it or not. But there were people that laughed during the slaughterhouse video that I
Ooh.
showed during my lecture, and I spotted everything. I heard everything, and I'd pull them aside. I'd grab 'em by the arm. I mean, I was like, "Are you fucking crazy? Shut the fuck up and you watch this, and you start to empathize." But I mean, what kind of psycho serial killer
No,
could
that's some
laugh?
serial
Yeah,
killer
because
shit.
listen, even
Yeah.
the people that didn't change, again, it was only a handful of times. So nearly everybody, when the slaughterhouse video was shown, they got silent. They got teary eyed. They shut up a little more and let me preach a lot after this. Because I would show the slaughterhouse video around 15 minutes into my 60, 70-minute speech. So they listened intently after that. The ones that laugh, wow.
Oh, no, yeah, that's another, they should be
Yeah,
in
I'm
jail.
sorry.
Those people. Those,
Yeah. And speaking of jail too, every single person, every serial killer, every schoolyard shooter, people don't know about this either. They were all started killing animals. That's how they trained themselves to be okay with abusing a human being. They started out on the animals. Now, I'm not asking for all this to stop so humans could not be abused and tortured. Of course, that's evil too. They need to stop for the animals. But if people want to really break down the sick people of this world, they were all fucking animal killers. All of them. That's how they all talked about it. I believe it was Ted Bundy or Dahmer that talked about it. Yeah, I used to torture neighborhood dogs and cats. Yeah, then it made me hardened to the screams and the cries that humans were doing, and when I was torturing them, it's I don't know how anybody could directly harm anybody else. By the way, unless it was in a self-defense scenario. So again, so the hunting community too is very bizarre to me. I kind of want to throw this out there. I hear this a lot from hunters. Well, Gary, I do the killing myself. Isn't that okay? Actually, I think that's more psychotic. I understand why meat, dairy, and egg eaters are eating it. They're not killing it. Like if you put a knife in my hand when I was growing up being vegan and say, Gary, go shove it in that cow's throat. Are you fucking crazy? I am not killing that cow. Somebody else is doing it. So the ones that kill directly are the hunters are psychos to me. Slaughterhouse workers are psychos to me. Vivisectionists are psychos to me. Matadors, psychos. These are the most psycho of all human beings. The ones that can kill directly and laugh, giggle, and smile. And if you don't know what hunters do after they're killed, you can punch up those photos online. They can't wait to pose in front of the murdered animal with a big smile on their face. Some of them even hold the cougar up and hold the deer up and hold it like, look what I did, mommy. Look what I did, daddy. I killed an innocent being. Isn't this great? I don't understand that because again, I never did. I never directly harmed any animal in my life. Meat, dairy, and egg eaters are indirectly harming them, but all this takes place because of that indirect harm. And your choices, your decisions every day affect the lives of trillions of innocent beings. As long as you can, as long as society demands the flesh of murdered animals and the things that come out of their body, these animals will be raped, they will have their babies stolen, they will be tortured and killed. There will be buildings that exist to slice their heads off and cut them into hundreds of pieces. And by the way, if you go in alive and come out chopped up into hundreds of pieces against your will, that is the biggest Holocaust. That is the biggest form of mass murder that's ever taken place. Human beings have no idea what it's like to be treated like nothing, to be killed by the trillions. I mean, I don't know numbers, but there's no way there's more that all the humans that have ever existed, it can't be more than 20, 30 billion. And I mean, probably being generous. That's not even 1 year for the land animals on this planet. In 1 year alone, more animals will suffer and die than all humans in the history of humankind. And most logical humans would not tolerate all this abuse if humans were the victims or if dogs and cats were the victims. You know something else that I won't do? People ask me over the years, hey, Gary, will you say something about the Yulin Dog Festival in China? No, I won't. What do you mean? Isn't it horrible? Yes, it is. But what about the 9 billion chickens we murder here in America? Let the Chinese vegans handle what's going on in their territory. Stop trying to influence something else that's taking place in another country that you have no say so over. Handle it in your backyard. Bumper sticker philosophy. Think globally, act locally. Do something here right now. Stop thinking you're going to influence what's going on in China, what's going on in North Korea, South Korea, whatever else is going on. Handle business here in America. Influence what you can.
Yes, and stop calling yourself an animal lover. Like, I love how you say this, Gary. You say you're a dog lover, you're a cat lover. You're not an animal lover because if you eat animals, you're an animal hater. That's your quote. You're an
Yes,
animal
that's good.
hater. So, I have so many friends in my life, they have dogs, they eat chickens. You're an animal hater. You love dogs, you hate chickens. Nobody hates chickens. They just, I don't know, but we
They're
we're
so
never gonna
disconnected. They're so
disconnect it.
disconnected. And this is done
Yes.
for a reason, right?
Yes.
Society makes sure we're disconnected. Most people have never met a chicken. I used to say this to students who say, oh, chickens are dumb, Gary. I'd say, I'm curious, how many chickens do you know? Zero or zero?
They're
Yeah,
not
none. Oh,
dumber than the humans.
right. And I'd say, oh, so you're making judgments. on beings you've never met before. You want to talk about prejudice, how deep speciesism is? You think you know how chickens are and you've never met one? The only one you ever met was cut up and dismembered on your dinner plate? You think that you can make judgments and you can tell me, because I know hundreds of chickens from all the years that I've been vegan and all the sanctuaries I've gone to, and they're nothing like you describe. How many pigs have you ever met? I used to bring people to the sanctuary, the Sasha farm, all the time. I would bring meat eaters up there all the time. All these acquaintances. I said, you come in. And then I'd make them go, you go pet that pig. And they'd be all scared. Oh, I don't want to. I'm like, why? Feel guilty? You go look that pig in the eye and tell him that his life doesn't matter. And then they look at me and say, oh, Gary, I'm sorry. I'm like, what do you mean you're sorry to me? Be fucking sorry to me. You're killing him. Apologize. You can't even apologize to him. But they once they if people only would meet these animals, I'm telling the majority would stop. But they're hidden on purpose,
Yeah.
and on purpose, the commercials, the industry, they always make sure to use cartoon caricatures of animals in their advertisements, like the pigs and the chickens want to be killed. They want to be tortured. They want to be dismembered. They want their babies stolen from them. They convince us of this. It's amazing. These meat, dairy, and egg industries, and I'm not being sarcastic, they are brilliant propagandists, brilliant at what they do. The religious shysters of the world that have convinced people that God says it's okay. All the pastors and all the rabbis and all the imams around the world, right? The governments that have convinced us, oh, that no, this is normal, it's natural, and there's laws out there. I love this shit too. Oh, Gary, there's humane laws, animal welfare laws. If there were any law on the planet against animal cruelty, opposed to it, you couldn't have a slaughterhouse. It'd be the first thing that would be abolished if there was any real law opposed to the cruelty of animals. There are none. If there are any whatsoever, it's for some dogs and some cats. And keep in mind, some. We still use dogs and cats in vivisection experiments. Right? They still sew the eyes of kittens shut in blindness experiments, light dogs on fire in burn research experiments, infect them with mutations of human diseases so we can watch them slowly suffer and die and gather useless information. So it's only a few lucky animals that have laws protecting them. But how could there be an animal cruelty law on this planet when more than 2 trillion marine animals are suffocated and murdered and pulled out of the ocean? And when more than 80 billion land animals are raped, have their babies stolen, and hung upside down in a slaughterhouse or put in a gas chamber, by the way. The latest main method of death for chickens and pigs on this planet is a gas chamber. Gas chambers? Gee, I thought around 100 years ago in, I don't know, Germany, we were fucking fed up with gas chambers. And this is why I was so harsh when I visited Israel. I said, how dare you say never again? That's your mantra, never again. You're taking part in it. It's happening right now.
Yes. Yes.
We are a
And
fucked up species. I don't understand this. Honestly, we're technologically, again, we are so brilliant. You can't even explain to me right now how we can have this conversation. How in the world am I talking to you
yeah.
on this little square device? How in the world do I get to watch just about any football game I want to watch Saturday or Sunday and just press a little button and on this big screen it comes? You can't explain to me how a plane actually flies, how a helicopter works, but we can't be kind to the animals. We don't know how to be compassionate and empathetic. We've lost everything that once made us human, if we ever were. So I can go back in time. There might have been a time where humans were connected to the natural world. We certainly lost our way a long time ago. I don't know when and where, but we have lost our path. And we're the scourge of all scourges, the infestation of all infestations.
Mm.
If you wiped humans off the planet, guess what? You want some harsh truth? Everything thrives without us. Everything gets better without us. This is how unspecial and unimportant and evil humans are. If you got rid of us, the world would be wonderful. With us, it's hell. Hell on earth.
Yeah. If you guys think Gary's harsh, You know what's harsh? Watch some slaughterhouse videos. That's harsh. What Gary's telling you is the truth. And somebody's watching this that is still supporting the animal cruelty industry, the animal holocaust. And it will end if we stop paying for it to happen. We are paying for it 3 times a day. Every day, 365, and it never shuts down. And you know what, Gary? Thank you for coming back, because the world needs you, because these slaughterhouses, they're not closing, they're not stopping. And I know people are waiting to hear your message. And I'm just so grateful and proud that you are back and you are getting out there and you are doing interviews again. And I just want to say thank you very, very much to you, to everyone that's been watching. Guys, sashafarm.org. It is in the chat. It's also below in the description. I've never asked anyone to donate to anything ever. So this is the only time. I would really love if you check out the website. And I don't ask for donations for anything, but I'd really love for you to donate there to support Gary and support the work he's doing. And he is back, and he is. Let me know below if anybody here has been, thinking about giving up animals, okay? Giving up the dead animal body parts and their secretions. I know a lot of you are vegan, but let us know below, okay? If you might be open to this information. And I'm gonna put some free resources from Gary and from me to help you go vegan, okay? So thank you, Gary. You're amazing, amazing. It's such an honor, such an honor. You had me a few times wanting to cry, but I had to hold it together. But you are very gifted, and thanks for stepping into your purpose and living your life purpose and walking in your truth, and not accepting the world as it is and making it a better place because you're here. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much, Ms.FitVegan. Keep on preaching and teaching everybody you come into contact with. I really, truly enjoyed this. Let's do this again in a few months,
Thank you.
and just keep on doing everything that you're doing and everything else you can. And we'll get to the finish line a lot quicker. And all the vegans out there listening, speak up. It's not okay just to be vegan anymore. You have to speak up to some degree. I know not everybody can go out and give a lecture tour like I did, but you can certainly speak to your coworkers, to your friends, to your family. You can do something, organize something, bring more vegan food to the community somehow. Go to the restaurants in your area. It's a great form of activism. A lot of people want to mock that. I say bullshit, because I say a lot of people would eat more plant-based foods if there were more plant-based options. Darren used to tell me that. I used to bring him all the cool vegan food when I traveled the country. It's like, man, try this Philly cheesesteak and try this pizza. He's, oh man, if this was on the street corner, I would eat it. I'm like, oh man, why isn't it available everywhere? So do something, speak up, speak out, get active, and change the world. Make the world a better place for somebody else. Change your life and change the lives of innocent beings. The animals definitely don't deserve all the horror that we inflict on them. Nobody can tell me otherwise. They don't deserve this.
Yes. Thank you so much, Gary. You're amazing. Bye, everyone. Have a beautiful night. And please leave the fucking animals alone. Okay? Please. Love you guys. Bye, Gary. Thank you for everything.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.